I'm Abby, and this is my cousin Maddie.
So, can you explain the TR profession?
Yeah, so TR to me is enhancing the quality of life for individuals. So enhancing the quality of life would mean on a physical level, a cognitive level, a spiritual level, and a social level.
That makes sense. So that's
Yeah.
like your definition of it, or is that like textbook?
That's I would say it's kind of a mix of both. There is no set definition for TR. Like there's tons of definitions for it, but that's kind of what I've narrowed it down. TR is basically like we go, and it could be in long-term care homes, it can be in child cares, it could be like, for example, when I worked at Pathways, it was me going into different schools and working, but I would play games and do activities like crafts and other activities like that to get the kids engaged. And right now I work at a long-term care home, so now it's more focused on improving their quality of life because a lot of them don't get a lot of social interactions, so we try and get them engaged in physical, social, and creative activities as well as spiritual.
I actually like that because I feel like there are a lot of times like people think quality of life just has to do with like economics or like where your like social status is, but then it's like actually about like is your mind, body, and spirit like all connected, and are you like at like your peak of physical wellness or like mental health or like anything like that. So that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
So how does TR differ from other health professions?
TR differs from other health professions because we're not focused on the medical. We're focused on their goals as a person, what they want to achieve in life. So like, for example, someone like a PSW would be focused on healing the person in a sense that then they'll be better and that would improve their quality of life. But for us, we more do a strengths-based approach. So we focus on their strengths as a person and what they want to achieve and like goals and stuff, and then we base our programs and stuff like that off of that.
It's actually interesting because like Teachers College basically doing the same thing. I have to do like SMART goals all the time, like how to teach that to like youth and children. But like I think that's actually really interesting, the strength-based approach. I feel like I hear that all the time because when I worked at Rebound, it would always be like, oh, you have to approach youth with a strength-based approach, find what they're good at, and go off of there. So it's kind of cool that TR does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually cool.
Yeah.
So what settings do rec therapists work in?
We can work in hospitals, long-term care homes. We can work in, like, for example, like child care centers, which is what Pathways does. We can work in jails, actually, as well. Just
that would be really cool. Yeah, I had one person at Rebound who worked in a jail doing that, and she said it was like her favorite job of all time because she worked with inmates who were 18 to 24. Yeah, so it was all about like
juvenile.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like, I've never experienced like doing this kind of work with like anyone other than youth, because like with like Act 2 and the theater stuff that I do with Rebound, like obviously I do that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
But obviously I don't have the education. But like I just didn't know that like that was like a set profession, because like as somebody who's in Teachers College trying to figure out how to do classroom management, like I'm not going to hit everyone's needs and I'm not going to get to every single person and like understand what they need. So it's cool that like, no, is it rec therapist? Yeah, rec therapist. I almost said
rec therapist is like what we do. The therapeutic rec is more of like a clinical like approach to it. So like I'm participating in a therapeutic rec program. I'm a rec therapist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Oh, okay, that's really cool. But yeah, knowing that exists is like really, really cool. And I think it's needed, like big times. So how and why did TR come to be a history of the profession?
So it started in World War II, specifically like as a profession. Florence Nightingale, do you know who that is?
No.
She basically in World War II, she noticed that all of the soldiers were just laying by their bedside doing nothing, just becoming depressed, or participating in more damaging activities like drinking all the time and stuff like that. So she started making programs for them to participate in together, like different sports, different games for them to participate in instead of basically rotting in their beds.
Yeah.
And then from there, they took it and the next step and added it into like different immigrant homes and stuff like that. And
wow, that's actually like cool, because there's a lot of studies happening right now that connects like socio-emotional, like kind of like regulating kind of skills with healing. And if you don't have a proper like space to like actually heal with like a quality of life and like the promise of a good future, like you won't heal at all. So that's actually really cool. But that's like really recent. Like World War II feels like it was forever ago, but it really wasn't. Yeah. So this is fairly new.
Yeah, it is, which is why it's not like completely known by a lot of people. Like a lot of people don't even know TR exists. So we do get asked a lot, like what is your job, or what do you do? But that's also why it's not in a lot of places. Like I feel like eventually it will be in part of the school boards.
I think it should
will be like everywhere.
But I also feel like, because my experience, I've worked in nursing homes, retirement homes before, and like that's my only kind of exposure to rec therapy is just that. And I think like that work is so important, and like you see the difference between like the like old folks that are in that home like before the session and after the session. Like it's two different people basically. So that's really cool. So a typical day would look like,
so I'll go from kind of both sides, because I have worked with kids and I have worked with elderly as well. So when I was at Pathways, a typical day would look like a lot of program planning and charting, and then from it'd be like an hour to 2 hours of being actually with the kids. And then for long-term care home, it's completely different. We're go all day. So in the morning we have to feed, which technically is a PSW's job, but there's just such low staff that they have us feed. And then we do an activity around 10:30. So, like, for example, today we made little Halloween candy bags for trick-or-treaters that are coming on Thursday.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, and then we did bingo as well today. So then we go to lunch, and then bingo, or a different activity, whatever day it is. And then that's about it. And we do our charting, and
I feel like that's like a really big difference in my head. It's like you're doing like similar work, but like in like a elderly home, or like working with the elderly, like it's almost like you're providing the home for them, like you're making the space like theirs, and like you're providing a service that's much more like almost like providing a cozy corner, and like where they can like go to and like enjoy, whereas like in a school it's very much more like, how do I set you up for success in the future? Kind of goes back to like when you first started explaining this. That's basically what you said.
So it's so much. I found that it's a lot easier to get kids to engage in it than it is to get people who would rather lay in their bed and
that's fair.
Hang out and do whatever they want to do.
Absolutely.
But I find when they do actually come to the program, they're happier afterwards. They're more lively and excited about life, and when they go back, they're not as like sulky and wanting to just go right to their bed. Like they're usually up for the day, especially in their morning program.
What's the benefit of TR, or benefits?
I'll do it for me, and then I'll do it for like the people that I work with. So as a TR, it has a good work-life balance, just kind of why I've chosen it. Like the hours are nice, and it's such a relaxed job that like you don't really bring it home with you, because you're just playing games and making other people happy, right? It's rewarding. So it's not a stressful job at all, which is very nice. And then for people, again, it'll be that like physical, cognitive, emotional, spiritual, all of that stuff. But we use a best friend approach at the retirement home. So, like, we pretend everybody there is our best friend and treat them like they're our best friends, so that they'll feel more comfortable with us, and will be more willing to come participate in programs. So, like, for example, today I had one guy who really didn't want to come down to a program. He wanted to take a nap. And I got so excited, and I was like, buddy, we need your help.
No.
We need you. Yeah. He was like, okay, fine.
But, like, I feel like everyone needs to hear that. Like, everyone needs to hear that they're valued and, like, they're needed in the space. So I like that best friends approach, because I feel like you do that to your best friends, like you peer pressure your best friend.
Yeah.
That's really cool. What is your personal philosophy?
My personal philosophy of TR is honestly just making people happy. If I were to work with, I'll use kids for an example here for this one. If I were to work with kids and they have like a rough background, not a good home life, having that safe place and that connection with an older person that's not just their parents can be so significant and life-changing for them. Like, it's been said that a child only needs one person in their life to be successful.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because you just need to hear, like, again, what you were saying, like, I'm needed, I'm valued. And, like, obviously you can't promise a kid, like, that you're going to be a safe person or a safer space. But, like, you can say safer, or you can say safer space, or, like, anything like that, just because, like, you know, so many things happen. Like, and, like, especially if a kid comes from a turbulent household. I love that you have that approach, because it does only take one person just to, like, be a bright spot, and then suddenly they're like, I'm gonna be a lawyer. And it's like, what? That's wild. But I love that. I think that's amazing. Like, I genuinely thought you were one of these.
I technically am. I'm just getting my bachelor's.
Yeah, fair.
I want to work in the hospitals.
Yeah.
Like, specifically children's
hospitals. That would
hospitals.
be cool. Yeah, you'd be really good at that.
Yeah, but you need a bachelor's.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense now. Okay, last question. What vision do you have for your practice?
Like I said, I want to work in the children's hospital, and just having an impact on those kids is my vision.
Aww.
And yeah, I'll be sad if something bad happens to them, but I know that I was an impact in their life, and I'll be remembered in that way from their families.
Aww, I love